Brian, your Cowboy Car Guy, Performance Auto Sales. We're continuing our series on how to buy a car without losing your shorts. So step one, we talked about getting your money right. Step two, we talked about doing a needs analysis and researching your dealer. Now, step three, we're going to talk about what do you do when you get to this place? When you get to the dealer, when you hit the lot, what do you do? And so I'd say the first thing that you do when you get there is you need to establish some boundaries. And the most important one in my mind is time. Let them know how much time you have. Now, it's reasonable, I think, to find a car to set aside at least an hour, I think is important. And then if you find the car that you want and you're going to go through the sales process, I think another hour for negotiation is reasonable and an hour for them to do their paperwork. So 3 hours start to finish, I think, is a reasonable amount of time. In a situation like you have for us, an independent used dealer, I think an hour to hour and a half end to end is probably a reasonable amount of time. Again, these aren't set in stone. Keep in mind that you need to be flexible because sometimes things take longer than we assumed. Oftentimes you'll have more customers there and the finance office may be backed up with people. So be patient, be flexible, be graceful in the whole process, but establish boundaries. Now they're going to ask for your keys. You don't need to give up your keys until you found a car that you've agreed upon. You don't need to give up any credit information until you've gotten to a point where you are quite confident this is a car you're going to buy. Now, if you haven't prearranged your financing like I suggested in the video video 1, then you're going to want to give them the credit information to help with the negotiation process. But again, not until you found that you got the car that you absolutely want. So you establish boundaries by not giving information until it's necessary. Don't give up your keys. And the one thing I would tell you is when it's time to give up your keys for evaluation of your trade, you need to let them know when you're done evaluating my trade, I'd like my car keys back, please. Because one of the things they do, one of the tactics is they take those keys, they lock them in the sales manager's office, and they stay there until they're done with you. And in my opinion, that's holding you hostage. I don't want to be held hostage. After you've looked at my vehicle, please return my keys to me. Now, if they're unwilling to do that and they have some reason why they can't cooperate with that, I'm leaving, in my opinion. I'm not sticking around. If you can't respect me, give me my keys back, not hold me hostage. I'll be here because I want to be here, not because you're forcing me to be here. Establish the boundaries. Don't give up your keys. When you do give them up, let them know I need them right back. And don't be afraid to go with them on the evaluation. Ride with them in the test drive. When they're done, get your keys back. Okay? Don't give up your credit information. Once you get to the dealer, the first thing you need to do is establish some guidelines. Now, keep this in mind. The salespeople, the dealer, is not your enemy. They're your advocate. You need to let them do their job. Don't treat them like they're the enemy. Don't treat them like they're out to harm you or to rip you off. I mean, if you feel that way, you need to go somewhere else. But you need to let your guard down and let that person get to know you and trust. You need to trust them to do the job that they're there to do. Okay? They're your advocate. Please keep that in mind. If you feel at any point in the process that this person is not your advocate, but they're your adversary, your enemy, then you need to go somewhere else. So step 1, get your money right. Step 2, do your research. Step 3, get to the dealership, establish some boundaries. Step 4, we're going to tell you next video how to begin the negotiation process. Brian, your Cowboy Car Guy, Performance Auto Sales, 5002 Laurel Road in Billings. You can always trust the cowboy. Talk to you soon.